Hi everyone, welcome to this webinar called Pulse Atlas, How to Use It to Boost Your Business. I'm Laura Spinner, I'm Vice President of Marketing at GPC. And I will give you a brief introduction about the Pulse Atlas. That is a new benefit for GPC members that we presented at Pulses 23 in Sydney, Australia. The main idea with this tutorial is to show you how to use the Pulse Atlas and how to make the most out of this wonderful tool. And I wanted to start by telling you why the GPC decided to develop a tool like the Pulse Atlas. The truth is, we've been hosting global conferences and webinars for several years and realized that we had lots of strategic information, lots of supply and demand data on the main pulse crops and countries. And it was a pity that all that information had a very short life. So we said, okay, what about transforming all that information into evergreen content? And that's when Roman Kutnowski, our former CMO, Mason Rowala, our global supply chain analyst, and of course, all the Pulse Atlas committee started collecting all that information and started working on the design of a platform that integrates all this data on one place. And so that it was accessible to all the GPC members. And that's the story of the Pulse Atlas and how it began. And that's just the beginning. We need to let you know that this is the first release and it will grow in the future with more countries and quarterly updates. And I want to make just two announcements before Mason starts presenting. One is this webinar is open to GPC members and non-members. So if you are not a GPC member and you stay until the end, we will announce a benefit for you if you are interested in joining us. And if you are a member, please stay until the end because we'll go through all the benefits you can enjoy right now for being part of the GPC. And the second announcement is that you'll see right above the screen a Q&A section, and you can leave there all your questions and comments, and in the end, Mason will answer them. So now Mason, our global supply chain analyst, will give you a walkthrough of the platform and show you how to use it.
Hi everyone, my name is Maisam Ali Mundrawala. I am GPC's Global Supply Chain Analyst. It is very nice seeing all of you here. So without further ado, let's head into the Pulse Atlas, the thing that you've all come for. So what you can see right now is the Global Pulse's website. There is the Pulse Atlas button over here. We're going to click it. I will have to stop sharing my screen and share it once again. Just 1 second. I'm gonna share it. Okay. So I hope everyone can see my screen. So this is where you
Yes,
come to when you click the Pulse Atlas button. Um, Before we head into the Pulse Atlas, like Laura already said, I just want to put it out there again that what you're about to see is the first version of the Pulse Atlas. You might see some things that are there in one dashboard that are not there in another dashboard, uh, but we're trying to bring consistency across all dashboards. So let's get into India. Waiting for it to open. Okay. So this is the India dashboard of the Pulse Atlas. On the right side, you have our National Association from India. You have our silver partners, Global Garbanzo, Seeds and Grains, Foods India, Wibgyor, Stark Agri, and this last company here. Um, so let's start with the dashboard itself now. So what we've done is that we've decided to split the dashboards itself for any country or for any crop into there's one thing I forgot to mention, I'm sorry. So let's just go back over here. I'm sorry. So what we did is that when we were making the Pulse Atlas, we decided to go with a dual approach. One approach is by country. So when you want to see a specific country, that's one way to go about it. The other approach is to go by crop. So you only want to see information for a specific crop and not other crops. So you can just go by crop. So let's go back to the country one. Let's go to India. So what we decided is that we split the dashboards into two types. So one, the top part will show you, so for example, we selected India. It'll give you India's supply and demand information as a whole. So for all the pulses that we maintain the data for. And then there's the bottom part, which is the specific part. We'll come to that when we come to that. So on this top part over here, you can see that this is giving you information about for from 2017 to 2022 for all the pulses that we maintain the data for. I will tell you in a few minutes, in like 1 minute, what pulses we maintain the data for. So here you can see that the yield in 2017 wasn't that great. That means it was under 1, but the yield has been improving. It has been improving gradually, and in 2022 it has been good. It has been coming up to 1. Let's move on to the next graph, which is imports to exports. Over here, you can see that India's imports have reduced obviously from 2017 because of the import quotas. So this, and they don't export a lot. Mostly it's imports. Now this at the bottom over here is the really cool part about the Pulse Atlas. It is the interesting part. So what we've done is that we maintain data for a certain number of pulses for India, right? So here in the search by crop area, you can select the pulse for which you want to see the data. So you click here and you'll get a drop down. So here you can see all the pulses for which we maintain the data. So we have black eyes, black mudpea, cowpeas, these chickpeas, until yellow peas. So for our viewing, I'm going to go with desi chickpeas. So as soon as you click, as soon as you requesting you guys just mute your mics. So as soon as you click any crop, the data at the bottom will change automatically. So here we have a summary of the 2022 numbers. These boxes here. Once you move down, you get monthly export numbers and monthly import numbers. Normally, these monthly export numbers and monthly import numbers are to do with, so the export numbers would have more to do with the harvesting periods, right? So you can see over here that in June, the numbers go a little high, and in between the fourth month and the sixth month, the numbers go a little high, and then they come back down. The import numbers are increasing towards the end of the year, then they come back down again in the start of the year. Then we move on to the next graph. Let me remind you that we're looking at desi chickpeas data. So here you can see again that the numbers have been gradually rising starting from 2018. They did fall, but then now they're rising again. And over here you can see that they had very good yield area to production. Here you can see that they had a very good yield. The difference here is what represents the yield. Then you move to the next graph. The next graph is our demand versus supply analysis. So the demand basically is a summation of exports plus domestic use, while the supply is a summation of carry in stocks, production, and imports. So basically, when you minus the supply from the demand, it would equal your carry out stock for the next year. Moving on to the last graph, which is the domestic use graph. Uh, this graph basically shows you the domestic consumption of the country. So you can see that the consumption has been improving over the years. From 2017 until 2022, it has increased a lot. So from example, over here, it's 8,000. So if you hover your mouse over the bar, you can get an exact figure. This is the cool thing about Power BI, that if you feel like the graph is not like you cannot identify exactly what the number is when you're looking at the graph, you can just put your mouse on top of a data point. So for example, here you can see that the supply is 14,000 approximately, and the demand is approximately 12,000 million basically. Here again the same thing. Here again the same thing. This is the cool thing about Power BI. Another thing about Power BI is that if you feel like the data is very congested, it's too much, and it's very overwhelming, what you can do is you can press this button over here, which is there with every this button, this focus mode button, which is there with every graph. When you put your mouse on a graph, you get the focus mode button. So when you click the focus mode button, what it does is that it will focus on that specific graph. I'm gonna decrease the zoom so you can see it in one screen, but I think it's becoming too small. But basically what it does is that you can see only one graph at one time then. This is what it does. So it becomes a little less overwhelming. Okay, let's move back to the report. So we have seen the last graph, which was a domestic use graph. Now I'm gonna go back to the home page of the Pulse Atlas, and I'm gonna select a crop. Let's go with Desi chickpeas. So for uh, for for the crop approach, we changed the uppermost graph a little. What we did is that we changed it, instead of area to production, we just made it production. So like in the country dashboards basically showed you uh, all the pulses that were produced by that country, right? So what the crop dashboards in the upper half of the dashboard will show you is that it is showing you the total number of tons that all countries produce of that specific pulse. So for example, we are talking about Desi chickpeas. So these are the numbers for in 1,000 tons, of course, for Desi chickpeas. So here, what we've done is that we have given a color to each country that we have the data for, and the graphs basically show you uh, the contribution of a specific country into the global production of that pulse. So for example, here you can see that it's 15 million tons of Desi chickpeas in 2022, out of which almost 14 million tons is just from India. So that's more than 90%. The other countries do not produce that much. Again, you see this, you see a small red line over here, but you can't see the number, right? So again, just like I said, the cool thing about Power BI, you just hover your mouse there and you'll see what country it is. So you see that it's Bangladesh, you see that it's 149,000 tons, and it is from a total of almost 15 million tons. Okay, let's move on down. Over here, you can see, just like the last country dashboard, the imports to export analysis for Desi chickpeas. The imports have reduced, the exports have also reduced as compared to 2022. Now we move on to the country specific analysis. So when we are in the country dashboard, you can see a crop specific analysis, right? But when you're in a crop dashboard, you can see a country specific analysis. So you can see that the monthly export are slowly rising in the 11th month, and they start coming back down approximately in February. And let's move on. This is for Australian monthly exports. So Australia doesn't have monthly imports. It is not an importing country. Over here, you can see that the area to production for Australian Desi chickpeas is a little fluctuating. It was high in 2021, but it came down again in 2022. Here you can see the demand and supply situation for Australian Desi chickpeas. So like I mentioned, demand is exports plus domestic use, while supply is production, estimated carry-in stock, and imports. And lastly, this is the domestic use by year. But you can see that Australia is not a very big consumer of the desi chickpeas. The numbers are not very high. So the maximum it ever consumed was this 13 in 2022 and 2020, and the lowest was in 2017, 7,000 tons. So this is basically a really quick overview of the Pulse Atlas. I am now open to questions if you guys have any. Firstly, secondly, two things. Um, One thing is that there have been frequently asked questions. What are the countries you are planning on adding? So in regards to that, what we're doing at the moment is that we are working on adding Japan and China at the moment. We're working on it, and it's a kind of slow process. It took us a lot of time to develop the Pulse Atlas to this point as well. But we're working on it, and hopefully in some time we will have both countries' data with us. Firstly. Secondly, there has been a boom of awareness for pulses in Europe. So we're also working to improve our European representation in the Pulse Atlas. Countries like Netherlands, Belgium have been importing a lot of beans. So we hope that we can add them into the Pulse Atlas very soon. That's the first thing. The second thing is that a lot of people have been also asking about frequently do you uh, how frequently do you update the data? So that is another cool thing about our Pulse Atlas. We have attached it to Power BI. We've integrated it into the website using Power BI, right? So Power BI gives us an option to update the data instantly. So maybe it would take 5-10 minutes, but that's for one dashboard. So when we obviously start to update the information for all the countries and all the crops, it can take some time. But at the moment, what we have targeted is quarterly updates every quarter. Hopefully, we will be able to give you a better, even an improved product, an updated product the next time we see you guys. So this is all from me, Laura, Mila, handing it over to you guys. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mason. I think it was very useful. And I don't know if anybody has any question here. We haven't received questions yet.
Laurie, this is Randy. If I could make one comment.
Okay. Hi, Randy. How are you?
Hi. We have a we have a Pulse Atlas committee, of course, and there's some new members that will be in the Pulse Atlas committee. So I think we'll start to see some more data from some other countries that we might have included, but it might be more comprehensive. So, for example, we have a new member from Uzbekistan. We have a new member from Kyrgyzstan, and as well as a couple other new members that are on the committee. So we'll have a couple more countries, hopefully, just from the new members that have joined that provide the data.
That's a very good news. So, any other comment, question? If there isn't, I can present now my screen. Okay. So if we have here people that are not GPC members, you can start enjoying the Pulse Atlas today by joining us. And you'll also get 1 year's access to all these benefits. In-person networking at our annual conferences, online networking all year round through our app and website, and premium content from the Pulse and reports, exclusive interviews with industry leaders. And what I'd like to do right now is to focus on the online networking that the app, the Global Pulses app, allows us to do. So give me a second here. So I think my mobile phone screen is showing. What I'd like to tell you about the Global Pulses app is that we have a very good feature, very interesting feature here that will allow you to network all year round. If you go to the members section here at the bottom of the homepage, you will find all the GPC members and you can search for their name. For example, Marina Commodities. And you can go to this company and see what they do, which pulses they work with, their website. And you can also view the contacts, the people that works for this company. So maybe you can go here and you can send a message directly through the app. Or maybe you can go here, mail, and you can send an email to this person. Another thing you can do is, for example, if the person has their phone number information updated, you can tap on the contact and you can go directly to chat with this person on WhatsApp. So this is one of the things, but I think the most interesting thing here is the filters. The filters, you can go to the top right corner here and you see filters. For example, imagine that I am an Argentine exporter of white beans. So I want to find importers and I can go here and, okay, services, I'm going to pick importer and I'm searching for importers of white beans. So here, and let's say that I want to connect with companies that are from China. So I will select China here in country. And I'll be able to see all the companies that can be potential customers for me. And tap on the company and view the contacts and contact the people that work in this company. So that's what I wanted to show you. I think, yeah, I'm still sharing the screen. Okay. So I will share again this screen. It's a little bit messy, but okay, if you are a big player in the industry, maybe you are interested in becoming a tier member. Tier members have access to free registration to our annual conferences and promotion in our annual conferences. And they also have access to promotion all year round across our communication channels and other benefits. So if you're interested in learning more about this type of memberships, you can go to the Become a Member section of our website. There is the link. And I think Mila has an announcement for people that are not GPC members. So Mila.
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Laura. First, highlight the importance of having a profile, company profile that is updated. As Laura was saying, you can find now new features in the app. So the more complete that your company profile is, the best. So you can also contact us through, well, my phone number is there, and our email if you have any doubts how to make your company profile more complete. And also for new members, we are presenting now a new benefit that we want to make sure that we reach as many companies as possible. So if you are already a member, maybe you want to share this information with some companies that are not GPC member. And now we are offering a free month of membership for those people that join us before the 30th of July. You just have to email us in office@globalpulse.com or using that phone number, that's my WhatsApp number, with the code PulseAtlas2023 to enjoy this free month of membership. And for system members, again, we're also there for you if you want to complete your company profile or have any doubt of any features that Pulse Atlas have or how we can better assist you in the GPC membership. We are here to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Mila. Thank you, everybody, for joining us to this webinar. And I hope you enjoyed it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.